Ben Diez has had a lot of video games, both official and unofficial. There are a lot of them, but I have to admit that this video game is very different from the rest. It was created with love, with the passion of a fan of the Ben Diez saga, for a fan of the Ben Diez saga. There are a lot of aliens in this game. One of the most important things is that their main characteristics are respected, like Yitri finally flying, or being able to use the supreme version of the aliens freely and at our convenience. I encourage you to stay until the end as we will uncover many things in what I consider to be the best video game created by a Ben 10 fan. In a city infested by DN aliens, Ben will have the mission to save the day from a possible alien conquest. In the game, we'll have several aliens, but to start our adventure, we'll begin with the 4 initial ones that come by default, which are Heat Blast, Swampfire, Echo Echo, and Humongosaur. And Yitra, aliens with whom we can get closer to our mission. We'll start with Swampfire. Swampfire is one of the best aliens, with his ability to shoot fireballs and direct them at enemies while doing so. No, and they significantly reduce your health. That's the problem with the DN aliens. As you can see, we're surrounded. The whole area is full of these. No, 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 no. It's impossible. It's impossible. We need to run. After analyzing the area with Yitra Y, I realized the only way in was with a Humongosaurio, as it was full of DN aliens. In the game, some enemies hit you and take a lot of health, while others remain stationary. Also, and most importantly, in the center of the city there was a large number of Omnitrix orbs. That's the center. That's the center, but it's full. Now, we can do it the easy way and get the Omnitrixes back with G-Trade flying, or we can do it the epic way. And it is using the Humongosaur. Obviously, I went with the Humongosaur option because I know you would have chosen it too. Now, among the abilities of a Humongosaur is that it can become gigantic. Added to this jump, which if you charge it, you can reach the sky. It results in a deadly blow that can destroy many things around it, and even though I didn't land in the center like I wanted, after getting up and obtaining the Omnitrix, the game started to bug out. And yes, the game does have some glitches, some stranger than others, like this one, where the Omnitrix turns purple, and it makes the alien symbol turn the same color, or this one, where 4 arms just started flying. I just imagined him destroying this whole city. Moving on to the most important thing, the other aliens, because actually there are a lot. Here we have Frio, an alien who for now can only fly. And we have to emphasize that even though there are a lot of aliens, not all of them have their full abilities. Piedra is another alien with whom we can only fly. Its design is absolutely spectacular, and it's really appreciated that this feature was added. Ben 10 discovered it near the end of the Ben 10 Alien Force saga. And the thing is, some aliens will borrow those abilities that we saw in the series, like Brainstorm. The crab can levitate by emitting yellow electricity, which makes it look even more epic. Wow, it can also create its shield. No, that's awesome. I'm really glad to see that these powers we saw in the series are reflected in the game. Seriously, extremely well done. Now, Spider Monkey, well, jump. Let's see if it can stick to the walls. It looks like it can't. No, it can't. But, well, a little parkour? Yes. Wow, these jumps and this parkour really remind me of the Vilgax Attack game. I think I already saw a little parkour with him. Wow, awesome. I found Go's design pretty interesting. He can throw punches. That slimy sound made me wonder if from a great height he could turn into some kind of slime, so I decided to find out. I used Yitra and went to the nearest building I had, and this happened. Well, no, it seems not. There was no fall mechanic from Goop. As for Eco had several functions that unfortunately didn't work. The only one that did work was singing You, the epic song of alien supremacy, corresponding to his original powers. Yes, Eco was one of the most versatile, capable of splitting into up to 5 clones, if I remember correctly. His sonic power served as an attack and enhanced his mobility. Currently, the attack inflicts no damage. They solved this by giving us the supreme version of Eco, which for now only allows us to fly. In the end, I'll show you some tests with some aliens, like Eco, which I found interesting. His clones could split up and move away. So I wondered, how far apart can they be from each other? Alien X couldn't be left out of this video game, and Alien X's powers are literally those of the Administrator. This one can accommodate various aliens, like DN aliens, Cenocytes, and hybrids. It has a diverse range of elements. From boxes for testing, Kevin's car, trees, nets, these things that help you fly, and everything you need to run tests. Like, how many boxes could a Humongosaur destroy in his big form by jumping off this giant building? When it comes to the initial aliens, we can't play with Beast, Insectoid, or Aquatic, but we can play with Fire, which looks pretty epic, but he still doesn't have the ability to punch or use powers. With Diamond, we can afford to shoot projectiles, and testing his attack range, they do reach pretty far, although his projectiles disappear very quickly. XLR8, I could tell you he's the most overpowered alien in this game. He has the ability to go at super speed, and he also has the ability to slow down time. When you run, everything looks more blurred, making it seem like you're running faster. However, he can run on water. I believe all aliens are capable of that. And during the final tests, we'll see him competing against Fast Track to see who is the fastest alien. The little details about Gray matter that unfortunately can't do anything, but is there, and let's hope that in the future he actually does something. 4 arms is great, he can jump, punch, and fly. Well, he can't actually fly, but he can develop a new ability that allows his arms to become overloaded, giving them a reddish veiny look like mine. I really like Ultra T's design, and even though he can only jump, he can't do much more for now. Now with Phantasmatico, we have something special. As far as I remember, he hasn't debuted in any video game, and honestly, I don't know why. With the design from the original series and some pretty practical powers, this alien has a lot to prove. Yeah, no, I don't remember Phantasmatico showing up. I think in the Vilgax Attack video game, when we were in the void, the Ectoneurites appeared, but no, it wasn't possible to play as him. And its design looks pretty similar. It can emit claws? I think that's fine. Yeah, I like it. Entering the unlocked aliens block. Unfortunately, we don't have Wild Mutt Spitter the Snake, which, well, wasn't available either. The second version of Upchuck, Ditto, and iGuy. But we do have Cannonbolt, who can run like Cannonbolt. He has some car sounds and does have an attack that gets bugged. Like some aliens, the peculiar detail is that he doesn't really walk properly. As the first unlocked alien, this detail is quite nice. It's awesome to see his ultimate form in action, which you can switch to at any time. Having this happen with his ultimate form is really cool. The next one is Bugshock, who, even though he has a good design, I don't know, but it kind of hurts my eyes to look at him, you know, this battery. He used to have an electric aura, but now it feels uncomfortable. Even the sound he makes is unpleasant. Blitzwolfer, the next alien, has strong attacks but is slightly slow. His jump doesn't quite match his other abilities. And the Howl? Where did the Howl go? Upchuck's design is pretty good. He has some abilities that I thought, just because he has nothing to eat, couldn't be used. But after putting in an element he could actually interact with, he still didn't use it, so actually his powers are useless. Nanomech is one of the aliens that for some reason I ended up liking. Although this is his first video game appearance, his design is good and similar to the one in the WoW series. The flapping he makes is kind of soothing, and seeing everything around him like kind of blurs out. I don't know, it makes me feel at peace. I like this alien? Seriously, I liked it a lot. Among all the aliens, Clockwork was the only alien that doesn't have a transformation trail. But it has the bug of being able to jump like 4 arms and the ability to judge you with its cold stare. The next alien is Rat, which is still in progress, but it still looks pretty good. Corresponding to the last aliens from the Alien Supremacy saga. We don't have Chameleon, Ethel, and Yuri Ridge available, but we do have the Andromeda aliens. And I have to emphasize that Amphibian's design was my favorite. Those little light details don't bother you, but they make the aliens stand out. He doesn't have powers yet, but I still like him. Next was Galapagos, who flies and sounds like a helicopter when doing so. Being such a peaceful species, seeing him here like this reminded me of this scene from the Alien Supremacy saga, Aquatic Threat. NRG and Armadillo didn't have much to offer us. We just had to admire the level of detail they put into these designs. Look, Armadillo's arms move because of those mechanisms he has, and you can see NRG's true form from above. This game is very detailed. The final alien, Fast Track, has an incredible design. It sounds awesome when he starts running, and that trail looks like his own shadow as he runs. The alien's design is really cool, despite being the most forgotten in the Alien Supremacy saga. Even so, I always liked it. It didn't get the chance, but I liked it nonetheless. The issue, I believe, was due to another alien speedster like XLR-8, causing people to long question who is faster. And today, we're finally going to find out in the tests we have for the aliens. The first test is going to be a speed competition between Fast Track and XLR-8. In the process, I wasn't satisfied, so I also decided to include Yitre, who is an alien that also flies fast. And to my surprise, this was the result. Now, since I was already running tests, I said, why don't we try with Alien X? Test number 2 was to place as many boxes as possible. Take a Humongosaur up to this building, the biggest and closest one, and jump off from the top with his giant version. The problem was that I failed, I know, so I got a second chance, and this is what happened. Pure and simple satisfaction. For the third test, since I was already placing boxes, I wondered if the Supreme version of Cannonball could break them. It's like a car that goes very fast. Surprisingly, this actually happened. As a fun fact, I realized that the Supreme version of Cannonball, and likely the normal version too, they can climb buildings. You have to do some kind of bug where the character is positioned straight so they can climb. After multiple attempts, it worked only once for me. Subsequent attempts were unsuccessful. The fourth and final test was about patience, exploring how far apart the versions of Echo Echo could get. So I decided to place each one of them at different points on the map, then finally I joined them together to see what would happen. No, nothing happened. It took me about half an hour to separate each of these creatures. In summary, these were all the tests I could perform in this video game. I know you guys will also come up with a lot of fun and even crazy tests related to this. So if you want me to try them out, you already know what to do. You can download the game for free from the description of this video. That's all from me. I'm free, and with the company of these amazing people, I say goodbye. See you next time. Goodbye.